Hello and welcome. My name's Amanda Johnson and I run a company called VACT Limited. I'm a coaching and training company specialising in helping admin professionals make the leap from an employed role to self-employment. I plan to share with you in this session my wisdom on ditching the JOB and becoming a virtual assistant. We're going to look at the entrepreneurial mindset of what you need to do and how much you can earn. Now, you might have joined this session as you really want to know what is a VA. So let's start there. For me, the phrase VA or virtual assistant is a label that encompasses so many different roles in today's business world. But traditionally, a VA was or is a self-employed professional who provides administrative, technical, or creative assistance to clients remotely. The problem we have is there is no one set phrase or description. So you will see people using some of the job titles that I'm going to share with you now. And in fact, they offer the same or very different services to somebody with exactly the same title. So you might hear people refer to themselves as a virtual assistant, a virtual executive assistant, a virtual personal assistant, a freelance PA, a virtual secretary, perhaps a social media manager, freelancer, a virtual office manager, or even an online business manager. And that's just a small selection. But if we were to analyse what tasks that those people do for their clients, we would find there's a lot of similarity. So please, don't be worried or shocked or anything like that or think they're different roles. Often they're not. You could also be thinking, why would I want to ditch my JOB and set up a business? Well, there are many reasons why people want to become self-employed. Maybe you want the flexibility to choose your own working hours around other commitments, be that a young family, elderly relatives, or perhaps you're looking to relaunch your career or do something different. Maybe you're at risk or are experiencing redundancy, and you're thinking now is the time to strike out on your own. Often, I find people who love their current role but want more of a challenge decide to launch their own business. But this is about you and about what you are wanting. But let me quickly share with you why I'm qualified to talk on this subject, as I hope you might see some similarities between the two of us. So, I'm a military veteran of over 22 years, where I've been everything from the admin assistant in the pay office through to the PA of the boss of a large establishment. I've been the secretary of a training academy, the logistics officer of a fighting warship, the staff officer or executive assistant for an organisation based in Europe. In all honesty, this is a tiny snapshot of the roles that I did in the military. But the key point to take away from this is that those roles were wide and varied, and not just tasks performed by a PA or an EA, which some people will argue are the prerequisites to joining the industry. In 2012, I was lucky enough to take voluntary redundancy, and I launched my VA company, having done a training course with the company I now own. Now that might sound weird, but basically I knew I either wanted to franchise my business or go into coaching and mentoring of other VAs. But I also knew that I needed to understand the grassroots of being a business, rather than just the theoretical knowledge of my degree. So after 18 months, I became a licensed trainer for VACT, and 6 months later, I bought the company. Now, you might be wondering why I'm sharing that with you. Because I want you to realise I know what it feels like to be in an employed role and want to go into business for yourself. And if I was to hazard a guess, you might be feeling excited by the idea. But you've got some alternating voices in your head. One saying, go on, you can do this. And the other one saying, no, you don't want to do it. It's scary. You have to be employed. It's risky. You need job security. What happens if you get lonely? How are you going to get clients? What happens if no one wants to work with you? What happens if you become too successful or too busy? Maybe you're even thinking, how am I even going to do this? So I've got 5 key areas that I'd like to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about mindset, vision, skills, money, and the process for doing it. So let's start with mindset. Why do some people go into business for themselves while others never go beyond talking about it? Why do some of those people who try succeed, yet others fail? Personal suitability is the key factor here. In many cases, the only person who can judge whether you're suited to running a VA business is you. Let's be honest here. Ditching the JOB and starting a VA business is a huge step and might be a little bit scary. So it's vital that your decision is based on sound research and some soul searching. Do you know what my first piece of advice to you is? Don't ditch the day job. Not yet. And my reasons for this, hopefully, will become clear as we go through the presentation. First off, I'd like you to take a moment to write a list of the personal attributes you associate with well-known entrepreneurs. Write down a list of the qualities which you think make someone better suited to running their own business. I reckon you'll have things on it like self-confidence, risk-taking, persistence, energy. Once you've got a list, I want you to go through that list and see if these attributes apply to you. My first business coach was with the Royal British Legion, and they ran a mentoring program called Be the Boss. And this mentoring program reinforced to me that yes, I was good at admin, but to be a VA, I needed to be the CEO of a business and not just the doer. It was actually, I was going to say irrelevant that I was good at admin, but no, I did need to be good at it. But actually, I had to stand up and be the business owner first in order to create the business, to get the clients, so that actually I could then do the tasks that I had sold them, the services, the admin services. So when I look at what it takes to be an entrepreneur, to me, the one critical thing is being able to stop, look critically at what is going on around me, and then be that business owner. So let's talk about vision. In order to know whether that entrepreneurial path is right for you, we need to understand what really drives you. Are you driven by money, professional development, life, family, travel, freedom, flexibility? Are you scratching that entrepreneurial itch that's always been there, but you've just never taken any notice? Do you know what? There is no right or wrong answer. It is all personal to you. So I want you to start by identifying your 10-year goal. Don't overanalyze it. Don't overthink it. Don't try and put reality on it. Just, if I said to you, you can be anywhere you want in 10 years, in your personal life or your business life, capture that. And then I want you to do the same for 5 years, and then 3 years. And you'll notice that I started out at 10 years, and we've moved back to 5, and then we've moved back to 3. And in all of that, I don't want you to start going, oh, what if, etc. I just want you to capture what would be your ideal life in 10, 5 and 3 years' time. And then I want you to think about 12 months from today. If you and I were to chat 12 months from today, what would your life look like? Would you have ditched the job by that point and be fully self-employed? Or perhaps you might be on that path to self-employment, but not necessarily there yet. Well, instead of thinking you have to do everything in one day, I want you to break that 12-month goal down into 90-day objectives and work out what you need to have done exactly 3 months from today, and then 3 months after that, and then another 3, until we hit that 12-month point. Think of it as bite-sized chunks. You cannot eat an elephant in one sitting. You have to do it in bite-sized chunks. And that is exactly the same as what we're talking about with our goal. Next, we need to evaluate our skills. Do we have the skills that somebody out there is willing to buy? There will be some VA trainers who tell you need to have admin qualifications, certificates, accreditations, personal experience, practical working experience, legalities. And they'll give you this tick-off list that you need to do. Instead, I want you to do this practical exercise. I'd like you to take a piece of paper and I'd like you to be in front of a computer. And I would like you to Google lots of VA websites. Now, this isn't about competing against them. This is to look at the services they offer. I'd like you to write 3 lists. Now, the first list is a list of the services that they offer that you can do and that you love to do. Then I'd like you to write a list of the services that they offer that you can do, but you don't really enjoy doing. And then the third list is the list of the services that they offer that you currently don't know how to do. Now, the third list is your skills gap. You're not either going to offer that in your business, or you'll find somebody else to offer it for you, or you're going to invest time, effort, money into learning it in order that you can offer it. But I don't want you to focus on that skills gap. I want you to focus on list 1 and 2. What are the things that you can do and that you love to do? And what are the things that you can do that you don't really enjoy doing? Now, when we love something, as well as being able to do it, it's much easier to sell it. And so it's about packaging that in such a way that somebody wants to buy it. Okay? So let's talk about money. Can you replace your current salary as a VA? Well, without knowing exactly what you earn, this is a tad difficult to answer. But I want to be honest with you. Yes, you can replace your current salary, but it's not an overnight thing. I know VAs who are earning over 6 figures. There are very few of them. And I know VAs who are earning nothing. So instead, what I want you to think about is the income that you need to live on. Please do not ditch your job until you've built a business that allows you to still live. So how much money do you need to live? Well, there is a difference between need to live on and how much you want to live on. By need, I'm talking about the bare minimum to cover all your bills and expenses. Because setting up a VA business is not something that happens overnight. Unfortunately, I can't go beneath my desk and open the box of clients that says, oh, look, here's a new client, and hand it to you. I would love to be able to do that, but I can't do it. So a much better suggestion would be to ensure you've got 6 months worth of living expenses available to you. Yep, 6 months. So if I said to you, in 2019, the VAs I train are generally charging between £25 an hour and £35 an hour. And VAs with particular skill sets, perhaps language abilities or enhanced skills on certain software, might have a higher rate than that. I work with one VA who's based in mainland Europe, and she is charging €150 an hour. And people are prepared to pay it because they're getting her knowledge, her experience, and her. There is no right or wrong answer here about what it is you should charge. But let me share a couple of words of wisdom with you. I'd like you to charge your worth. It is far easier to offer a promotion or a discount than it is to raise your prices. If you sell yourself too cheaply, people worry that you are crap. And they don't want to work with you, especially potential clients who know what other VAs are charging, or if they've worked with a VA in the past. If you are significantly cheaper than those other people, the client will just switch off because they think you can't do what you say you can do. Now, if you're based in the city, you might think that you need to be charging higher because people have a greater disposable income. Let's remember here, we're virtual assistants, and it's not about where you're located or about where the client's located. It's about the service that you offer to those clients. So how do we start that VA business? For me, the process can be likened to a pyramid, with the foundations being firmly established. It's about knowing oneself, about knowing your vision and your values. And from there, I'd like you to conduct some research. Personally, I'd start that research by following thought leaders, industry leaders, but only choose 2 or 3 people and or groups to be part of or to follow. Seriously, don't follow hundreds. You will end up overwhelmed. Find those who you resonate with, those whose style you like, whose approach you like, and go with it. What you need to remember is each of the thought leaders, each of the coaches, each of the trainers all have a different belief system. They all have different core values. They have different vision of how the VA industry should be. And you need to work, whether that's following their blog posts, following their social media posts, you need to do the research and follow the person who talks your language, who you can feel a rapport with, okay? So another piece of the research I'd like you to do, though, is to check your current contract. Now, this is critical if you're still employed, because what we need to make sure is there are no issues with you having a second income or another business. Now, some professions will say they are happy that you have a second income, but you have to talk to HR about it. And they have this no compete clause within your contract. Basically, they want to make sure that you're not going to go after their clients and try and get them to become your clients. And I get that. So just check whether you can or can't have a second income or a second business. Most HR departments or bosses will be happy with it, provided you reassure them that you're not going to work in their time and you're not going to use their resources to create your business. I'd also like you to research and investigate both your competitors and your target market. Yes, I did say competitors. As technology has advanced over the years, the VA industry is rapidly expanding on a global scale. So your competition may not be local. Now, this isn't about competing in the sense for clients or on price, but about knowing what stands you apart from other VAs. I want you to be different, to offer something different. but still something that people want to buy. So this is about knowing your target market or your ideal clients. It's about knowing where they hang out. It's about knowing how much to charge for the services that you want to deliver to those clients. And you might, and actually you should, link this back to how much you need to earn and want to earn. Then I'd like you to start looking at the legal structure and status of your business. Registering as self-employed and arranging to have contracts, insurance, data protection. It's about getting the legal fundamentals in place. From there, we can start looking at that skills piece. Remember the 3-list exercise that we did earlier? Because once we know our skills and we've identified who our ideal clients are, we can start marketing to those clients. And we need to market our services in the places where those ideal clients hang out. Now, this could be on or offline marketing activities. We know that in the UK and in Europe that the primary methods for VAs to get clients is through their existing network of connections, followed by face-to-face networking and followed by social media. So what I would say to you is start to talk to people. Start sharing the message about what it is you're going to do. So these are the starting points I would suggest you adopt if you would like to ditch the JOB and to launch a VA business. You will notice and hopefully remember that I said don't give up the JOB until you've started to earn some money. But at the same time, you need to know when ditching the JOB fits into that vision and your goal for you as a person and as a business. It is totally possible to replace that employed salary, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but through steadily building a business. And I hope that the ideas and tips I've shared with you will help get you moving in the right direction.